Hey everyone, in this video I'll explain to you how scoliosis influences your posture and I'll show you how you can improve that. Plus we'll create a scoliosis diagram together so that you can understand where your curves are and the most important part, where your concave and convex sides of the curves are, because that's the first thing you should know and focus on when you're starting to work with your scoliosis. Welcome to my channel, SCOLIOSIS. My name is Veronika and I'm a yoga for scoliosis teacher. And for this video, it would be great if you could have your scoliosis x-ray. Okay, that's it. Let's get started. Every scoliosis is unique, and practically what happens with scoliosis is that very often when we are standing, I can show you with me, I used to stand like this, for example, and I would feel that I'm completely straight. And this is something we need to work on because our proprioception and kind of the movement patterns of the body are a little bit different for us. And so what I want to work with you in this video, but also in the many more videos coming, is that we want to practically reprogram your body and replace the movement patterns with better ones so that you really can learn how to improve your alignment. And I will also show you with Kate in a minute that it's really possible. And so what you want to work with is you want to understand where the curves are so that you can practice a more neutral alignment of your spine. So now I would like to ask Kate to stand up, please, and be a scoliosis model for us. Please turn around. So now you can check out her back. You can see when she's standing in a completely relaxed position that she's kind of falling a little bit to the left side. So if I would show the curve for you a little bit better so that you can understand it, she has a little bit of issue with the pelvis because it's rotated. And so then you can see that her spine is kind of going a little bit to the left and then kind of coming back here and then coming up. She doesn't have much of a compensation curve in the upper body, which is good for her because it's a little bit easier to work with the whole thing. But now I will just show you how you can change that with just some little adjustments, but also, of course, with practice. This is not the first time we're doing this together. She already has some practice and she's built body awareness. So, of course, it might take you some time before you're able to do this. Okay, so first she just adjusts her feet so that they're on the distance of the hips. And then she starts working with the legs. She activates the legs. She corrects the alignment of the pelvis so that it's not rotating, that one side is not coming forward or backwards. And then she's working on neutral alignment of the pelvis. Perfect. And now she's also moving, she's already done that, I can see, her waistline a little bit to the right. Because the apex of her curve is on the left, so she's always working on moving her, let's say, waist a little bit to the right. So you can see already that she's adjusted it very nicely. Now she can support that with a little bit of breathing into her concave side. I'll get to that in a minute. And then she just lengthens through the top of her head, actively lengthening the whole body. So you can see that we've already changed a lot. This is what can be achieved with regular practice and if you build body awareness and proprioception. Thank you, Kate. I will keep you here standing because now we'll draw the diagram. So if you could turn around once more, thank you. And you can also see here in her x-ray, you can see her curve, so maybe it's for you a little bit easier to understand and imagine. And now if you have your x-ray, I would ask you to do the same then with your x-ray and to draw a diagram so that you can understand your curvature. We will start with the pelvis because that's always the base of the scoliosis and it needs to be worked with as well. In Kate's case, the right hip and the right side of the pelvis is a little bit higher than the left one. So I'm drawing it also in the diagram. And so you can observe your own pelvis and also include that in the diagram once you are drawing it. Then we'll continue with the spine. So Kate has a thoracolumbar scoliosis. So the main curve is mainly here in the lumbar scoliosis, but lumbar spine. And it also comes a little bit in the thoracic area. Then there's just a little compensation curve and it's coming pretty much straight up We'll finish with the head, and also don't forget to include the shoulders. For Kate, the shoulders are pretty much even, so I draw them even, but in your case and in many other cases of scoliosis, it can happen that one shoulder is higher than the other, especially if you have scoliosis in the thoracic area. So don't forget to include that as well. And now let's dive into the terminology of the scoliosis. So these are the two super important words I want you to remember, because I'll be referring to them very often and I'll be using them pretty much in every video. So this is concave and convex. Concave is the inner side of the curve. And you can also remember it by using the word cave, because as you can see here, you're inside of the cave, so this is why it's the concave side. This is a pretty easy way how you can remember this and not to mix up the terms later. And the outer side of the curve is convex. So these are the two words which I really encourage you to remember: concave side, inner side of the curve, and convex side, the outer side of the curve. Now for Kate, you can see that the apex, so the top of the curve, is approximately around here, so it's in the lumbar area. And then she has a little compensation curve here in the thoracic area. So here it would be the other way around. Convex would be here because you're on the outside, and concave would be here because you're here on the inside. I'm just showing this because in your case you might have, for example, a double curve, or your curves might be a little bit bigger. So it's good to know this for both of your curves if you have them. Okay, and now let's return to Kate. I will show you once more on her body so that you can imagine it a little bit better. So if you stand in the relaxed position so that we can show them better, you can see that here approximately is the apex of her curve. So her spine is curving to the left, and here is the concave area, which means it's the area which is kind of dropping in. There's also a little bit of rotation included. In her case, her right ribs are coming forward. And this is a case which is very often connected with scoliosis. It might not be your case, especially if your scoliosis is pretty mild. Don't worry, I will talk about rotation more in the videos to come. But I just wanted to mention this as well, so that you already know that it can be also part of scoliosis. Because as the spine is curving to the side, the spine also rotates so that it's possible for the spine to curve. Okay, so let's start with our corrections again. So we start from the legs, we activate the legs, then we align the pelvis. Perfect. And she's also kind of trying to level up the hips a little bit, so dropping the right hip a little bit down. Perfect. And then moving her apex, the top of the curve, to the right. Then she starts breathing into the concave area. Perfect. And that's also one thing which is important to know. We need to work on proprioception in general for scoliosis, because we need to build body awareness and we really need to learn to control our body. And especially we need to increase body awareness in the concavities of the area, in the concave area, because the muscles are mostly asleep there and they're not very active, they're not firing. So we can encourage them to fire if we place a palm there, for example, and now she's breathing against my palm, and she can fill it out with that. Now we align the ribs. Perfect. And then she lengthens through the crown of her head, and that's it. Okay, so this was the basic terminology for the scoliosis. Don't forget to learn concave and convex. Don't mix up those two. It's really important that you know which is which, because I'll be referring to them in every video. And also don't forget to make your own diagram so that you understand your curvature and your unique scoliosis pattern, and that you can work from there. Because I will teach you in the videos to come how you can improve your alignment, what you can do to work with the curves, and also we'll be working toward the neutral alignment of the spine. Okay, so that would be it, and see you in the next video.